Hey, what's going on, Mayvizzle followers, Mayvizzle peeping toms, you fucking voyeurs? Today, I got I got a madman. I got an egotistical psychopath in the building. Tony Vargas. He is an absolute savage when it comes to the wrestling ring. He's got a very compelling, interesting story to tell about how he got into the ring. And it's all brought to you by Night Shift merch, baby. And we got Warflurch right here. We're flirting. We're flirting today. We're going to eat some slime and talk to Tony Vargas. Man, Tony, how the hell are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Shh, I'm happy as hell to have you on the show.
Hey, I'm happy to be on this show.
Shit, man, I gotta just talk about this last match that you had. I mean, I'm gonna post some clips of this shit on the Instagram for the people that haven't seen it. But you just wrestled Big Baby Powder. You won the Beast of the East title, and you took the air out of the fucking room when you did it. It was
Good,
it was insane, man. What's going
good.
through your head when you're doing these crazy things and there's blood everywhere? Like, how do you feel?
Honestly, the way I feel, it's my job. It's what I do. You know, you see a lot of these cats on here on the internet, and they like to run their mouth and talk shit. But the thing is what's their? I don't have a limit. They do, and that's the problem. It's they do a lot of this, and you know what? Yeah, I took the air out. I proved a point. I told Ugba that that's my belt, and I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna take it convincingly. And I believe I did. I believe at the end of that match, people started to realize this ain't a fucking gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live this shit. I love it. I love violence. You know, I was an MMA fighter for 9 years. I did bare knuckle Muay Thai, kickboxing. It doesn't matter, man. Like, I don't know. I love this shit.
Yeah, man, these last couple matches that I've seen you do are just crazy. Like you said, you got eyes on you now. You know, people are watching the psychopath, and it's like you come out there like there's heels in wrestling, and they're those heels that fucking the crowd roots for them when they come out. But you don't give a fuck. You're a heel. You are the guy that everybody loves to boo. You know.
And that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got these guys who are heels, but they'll go on their social media and be like, "Hey guys, I'm having McDonald's, hashtag yummy," and shit like that. You know, it's like, nah. I mean, what you see with me is what you get. You either like me or you don't. And like you just said, I don't give a shit. To be honest with you, if you like me, cool. That's on you. If you don't like me, cool. Now I'm gonna push those buttons to piss you off even more. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, what you see is what you get with me.
Yeah. And you're a performer as well with the microphone. You got the skills. How does it feel when you're going from, cuz you wrestle for a lot of different organizations, you're booking a lot of different shows. How does it feel when you're like doing stories? How do you make create those storylines, have cuz you have that freedom. You're not like stuck with an organization that's feeding you scripts.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's again, like you said, we're the ultimate performers. You know, a lot of shit, and I'll be real with you, the social media and all that kind of killed a lot of it because, again, if you're going to have a feud with somebody and then you see them hanging out, at a concert or hanging out, whatever, to me, it's simple. You know, I take the old school wrestling mentality. You know, I'm not going to sit there and throw 5,000 super kicks. I'm not going to do 500 flips in the opening spot. You know, my thing is this, it's, like I tell everybody, you can love me, you can hate me, but you will be entertained by me. And that's the thing is even with, when I do death matches, I call it a cheap pop. Yeah, you're going to fucking cheer your ass off when someone gets hit with barbed wire and this and that. But can you tell that story? Does it have to be that way? You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like, for me, I go out there and I zone out. You know, like I said, I was lucky enough to be a pro MMA fighter. I was lucky enough to play pro football. But for me, this is a different high. Like, I love what I do when I go out there. And again, I don't care about someone coming up to me at the end of the match and be like, "Oh my God, you won or you lost or this and that." I want people when they come up to me to be like, that was intense. That was crazy. I loved it. And that's what I want. I don't care about you know, how many likes I get on social media. I don't care about how many retweets or any of that. All I care about is going out there doing my job and hearing those boos, hearing the fuck you, you suck and all that. I love that shit. Like I feed off of it. Like, good, I suck. Just watch.
Yeah, it's a trip seeing that dynamic in showmanship. Like when I go to these events, like when I went to UGWA, you know, you laugh, you get you know, you see some like crazy acrobatic shit. But then fucking when you came out, man, that was like an avant-garde performance. Like the way how into it you guys were. Like I really thought you fucking killed them. Like it was just that crazy. And it was, and then when I like, you know, got to hear about how it went down and shit, and you know how it was kind of planned, like getting that inside look was insane, because it's like, holy fuck, man. Like it, like the kind of movies I'm into, I like Takashi Miike movies, like what's it called, Ichi the Killer, or like those super crazy movies that are like gory crazy and stuff. And sometimes like when you're watching those movies, you got to pause them, or you're like, whoa, like that was a lot, or that was a heavy scene. Like when I saw Human Centipede, I had to take a shower after that. And but my jaw dropped, you know. I was like, fuck, that affected me, and that was how that match was, dude. And that's killer. Like you're able to give a performance like that, you know. It's
And like you just said, I did my job. Whether you liked it or not,
yeah,
I did my job.
and it's
Because at the end of the day, I'm not here to please everybody. You know, and I think that's the biggest mistake, that when people get in the wrestling business, they want to please everybody. Because in this business, you're not going to please anybody. Even the ones who praise you are talking shit behind your back and hoping you fail. And that's the beauty of what I do, is I don't care, because I've lived life after pro wrestling. I retired for 2 years. I loved it, but I came back because I love pro wrestling.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I love, whether it's a death match, whether it's a regular hardcore match, whether it's a straight up collegiate style wrestling, you know, move for move match. It doesn't matter to me. I just love it, because again, like you just said, my goal after every match, it isn't about how many cool moves I do. Now, again, like you just said, UGWA's got all the personalities, they got all the talent, and they're definitely turning it around. They went from a laughable organization that people used to talk shit about. Look at them now. Everyone wants to be booked on that card.
yeah,
Why? Because that's the it spot right now. You know what I mean? And fucking, again, despite how me and some of those people feel towards each other, at the end of the day, it's a business. You know what I mean? And what can I do to elevate UGWA? Right now, I'm the Beast of the East champion. And like you said, there's a target on my back. What good? But you know what? All these guys calling me out and this and that and going on social media. If you're going to fucking call me out, call me out. I mean, what was that other kid? Phoenix, whatever his name is, talking about I do pity patty stuff. Okay, cool. This coming from a guy who wears a thick ass mask. Really? Pity patty? This coming from a guy who admitted, oh, I'd go get dumped on my head. I do stupid shit. You do stupid shit. You admitted it. See, guys like me, who's the fucking alpha, I throw kids like you on your fucking head, because I'm the dominant one in that ring. You know what I'm saying? So you say I do pity patty, but yet I ain't wearing no thick mask. I'm not talking shit all the way from Australia, Guido. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this, is if you want it, come get it. Don't talk about I have your property, something you ain't never owned, and you ain't never going to own it. You're the unsung hero of the underground? Really? Ain't nobody heard of you? What have you done? Everyone knows who the fuck Tony Vargas is. Everyone knows who Mr. Ego is, the machine, all that. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, you're going to call me out, call me out. You want to say I do pity patty shit? Fucking prove me wrong then. Because last time I checked, I'm the fucking champ and you want my belt. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I look at it. That's how I look at it.
and
I'm the alpha. Always will be the alpha. And little fanboys will be chasing me, calling me out on the internet, stalking me like a psychopath ex-girlfriend. I want that belt. That's my belt. Come get it. Come get it. That's all I gotta say. Come get it. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like East Coast, West Coast, Mexico, Puerto Rico, doesn't matter. You want my belt? Come get it. That's how again, call me out good. Don't, oh, I'm the unsung hero. This is what I do. Well, if this is what you do, and I'm the fucking champ, then you ain't good enough. Step in line. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's officially a yes then, because he said at the end of that when I had him on, he was saying all I want is a yes or no. So are we gonna
Well, and
see
that's the
that
thing. I
happen?
mean, if he wants to wrestle me, it's a yes, 100% yes. But I think his next one for UGWA is Devil's Night.
Yeah.
I won't be at Devil's Night. I have a prior engagement that's can't really disclose it right now, but it's for a big promotion. Um, it's one of those things where if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, hey, it's all good. So I won't be there, but again, like I said, everyone knows where I'm at. Come get it. You know, yes to anybody. You be Joe Schmo on the street. You want it? Fuck it. What's your limit? Because I ain't got one.
Damn, you heard it here first, everybody. You call this man out, you better back that shit up. That's off the hook, man. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
So you got a background in fucking MMA too. It's like you were telling me the story about that. I heard some of it. If you mind, would you mind telling the fans like how you got into MMA?
Complete accident. 100% complete accident. So when I got back from college, I was working mall security, and at the time, my boss, he was an amateur MMA fighter, and he was training for a fight, and he was like, "Hey, the guy I'm about to fight is a purebred wrestler, collegiate, the whole shebang." And he's like, I remember you saying you wrestled," and I was like, "Yeah, I wrestled." And so he was like, "Do you mind helping me train for this fight?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So, anyways, we're training for the fight, and I'm just showing him exactly what a wrestler would do in a fight, how to do the takedown, single, double, the whole shebang. And then he gets hurt in training. And I was like, damn, all that hard work for nothing. And he was like, nah, since it's amateur, you're going to represent this gym. We're the same weight. So I already put your name in there. So you're going to come in and be my fill-in guy. So I was like, oh, shit. So, before I can say, no, I've never done no MMA or none of that, there's a couple, the veteran students in there, and then a couple, girls they all stared at me. So I was just like, puff your chest up, like, yeah, let's do this. So, long story short, took the fight. 22 seconds later, my hand's getting raised, knocked the guy out. Dude shot on me. I threw a knee. I'm not gonna lie, I panicked. Just threw that knee up, knocked his ass out. Cold. 22 seconds. And then ever since then, I was like, you know what? I'm hooked. So from that point, I just started training more and more, and started doing jiu-jitsu with gi, no gi, and just started doing Muay Thai, then kickboxing. And then it got to the point where I was fighting 3 times a week, whether it was a jiu-jitsu tournament, a Vale Tudo tournament, bare knuckle kickboxing, Muay Thai, wherever I can get something, I was just competing, so again, I love it.
Were you already training wrestling at this point?
Not professional wrestling, more of collegiate wrestling. I didn't get into my professional wrestling career until I was about 27 years old. And how I got into that was I was training at a gym, at the time was Bally's. And one of the personal trainers, he seen me training, and he was asking hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm training for a fight. And, just doing my, core and cardio and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, I was a pro wrestler for 20 years. And I've always wanted to be a pro wrestler. So I got all excited. So me and him started talking. And then next thing you know, he told me that, he had a couple of his friends that owned a gym in Newark, California. And I went literally after that training session. They just happened to have practice that night. Went straight there, seen one of their practices, and signed up that night. And haven't looked back since.
That's wild, man. So when you're training for wrestling, they teach you working the crowd. Do they teach that, or is that something that you just develop as a wrestler?
I mean, I'm sure some places teach that, but you can't really teach charisma, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can show somebody what to do and tell them, but it's up to that person to really want to do it. You know what I mean? If you're blah, you're blah. That's all there is to it. If you're not exciting, people ain't going to like you. They're not going to boo you. They're not going to cheer you. They're just going to nowadays get on their cell phone and fucking go on Amazon or something like that because you're boring as shit, you know. So you know the ones who got the charisma, the ones who can play the crowd, whether it's as you're a face or a heel. But I mean, I'm sure there's schools out there that teach you that, but I mean, you can't really. You got it. You got it. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts, man. Like, you know, you clearly in your zone when you're in the ring, and you know you're doing this crazy shit that I think like anybody would be terrified of being faced with. You know, like if they had to prepare for that, or knowing that you know they're gonna take glass to the head, or they're gonna get slammed through a door, or some shit like that. It's like, how does that transition? Is it the same kind of like, because I know there's got to be some sort of like healthy fear involved, like am I gonna fuck my shit up when you're doing it? Is it like MMA? Like, because you know in MMA you said like, yo, you go in there, you don't know what to expect 100% from the opponent. Is there still that kind of like healthy fear in wrestling and MMA?
I mean, anyone who says they don't have that healthy fear is lying, 100% lying to your face.
Yeah.
But the thing is like the pro wrestling, if you're afraid of the barbed wire, you're afraid of the thumbtacks, the kendo sticks, the fire, or whatever you want to use in that match, don't do it. Don't say, "Oh, I'm just tough." I mean, ain't nobody gonna think less of you. You don't look like no bitch or whatever people want to call you. If you don't want that, I mean, we're a different breed. Again, you know, we're doing this shit willingly. You know, but yeah, there's that fear. Okay, I might get sliced open or, you know, something. I mean, of course that's gonna be there. But again, there's always that fear too. You get in your car and you drive down the street. A fucking drunk driver can hit you, or, you know, you have a random ass heart attack or just something weird. You're always gonna have that fear. But my thing is this, do you have it? Yes. But for me, and I can only speak for myself, and I'm sure anyone else watching this who does crazy shit, as soon as my music hits, that's it. It's game on.
Yeah.
Straight up. It's game on. And I don't think about it. You know, I know I'm going to go through barbed wire. I know I'm going to go through glass. You know, I'm no thumbtacks and fire. I know that. And it's like you said, I mean, it's one of those things that's crazy, but fuck it. I'm all in. If shit happens, it happens, you know, but during the match, I can't think of that because at the end of the day, you start thinking about that in your match, you're going to hurt you. You're going to hurt your opponent. You know, and that's just it. You just gotta, it's like, you gotta have it flow, just flow. And if you're not comfortable, don't do it. Again, death matches ain't for everybody. Yeah. You know, MMA is not for everybody. You know, I mean, you see the Ultimate Fighter where a couple of these guys, they see the training and they start crying. I want to go home and this and that. It's not for everybody because you willingly want to get punched and kicked and choked and shit like that on purpose. Like, who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah.
You know, again, selected. You love this shit. You know, I know I'm not the only one, you know, so that's the beauty of it. When you get in that ring and you got someone just as fucking crazy as you, oh, that's beautiful. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I love that shit, you know, and for me personally, it's nothing worse than getting in that ring and they're like, oh, I don't want to do, I'm scared. And it's like, all right, well, get out of here because this is my craft. This is my art. Again, you're in my ring or MMA. Again, I always tell everybody, if you're going to do fighting, for example, I don't think there's anybody in the world who goes, man, I hope I get into a fight and get my ass whooped. I mean, fuck no. Like, when I get in that MMA cage, ain't nobody can beat me. Nobody. That's just the confidence I have when I step foot in that cage or ring or whatever. I'm the best. Like I said earlier, I'm the fucking alpha. You know? Ain't nobody going to punk me. Ain't nobody going to do shit. You know? Like I said, MMA, if you beat me, you beat me. We're going to have that rematch.
Yeah.
You know, pro wrestling, we have a death match and, you know, you fucked me up. Awesome. We're going to do it again. And that's just the mentality of it. It is what it is. You know, go out there and just fucking no fear, man.
Yeah, it's that champion mentality. Like they say, it's what makes champions. You know, you look at like Habib Nurmagomedov, you look at Israel Adesanya. It's like when these guys go out there and they're performing, they know in their head. You look at Sheik, for example, great performer. Sheik knows Sheik's gonna kill it, you know, every time she heads out there. And like, you come out there with that same type of shit, and it's a different type of show, but it's like it complements, it blends so well, you know. I don't feel like I'm seeing the same shit when I go to Ugwa. You know, I'm getting a different flavor here and there of wrestling, but it all comes together, and it everything sticks out. You know, that match, that last match that she had, stuck in my head. It like I felt it, man. Do you feel like that was the craziest match you've ever done, or have you done crazier matches in the past?
No, I've done crazier. I've done crazier. And that's the thing. It's, you know, like you just said, Ugwa. The beauty of it is it's not for everybody. You know, you go to like any other wrestling promotions, you know, you'll have your crowds who love that, and you'll have your crowds who absolutely hate it. And that's the beauty of what we do. We're not trying to please everybody. Ugwa, for example, we're not here to please everybody. We have our group of people who love Ugwa, right? Sheik, for example, Sheik's been around a long, long time. She can vouch. You know, she's been all over. She's been all over, up and down California, the United States and stuff. There's a selected niche of group of people who like certain things, and that's up to you to like. You know, we're not going to jam it down your throat and be like, you got to fucking love death matches. Again, I do death matches. I can do regular matches. You know, I was fortunate enough. I got to wrestle for Ring of Honor, Impact, and do shit like that. But, you know, and that's the beauty. Like I said, it goes back to, what do you like? You know, Ugwa, yeah, we have something different. We have high flyers. We have death matches. We have hardcore matches. We have, you know, everything in between. We have six ways and tag matches and shit like the tag champs right now for Ugwa. They're entertaining as fuck. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, they're super entertaining, you know, and that's the thing is we have something for everybody. You know, it's from start to finish, there's something for everybody. You know, whether you like the high flying, boom, we have high flying. You like the crazy shit, we have some hardcore matches and we have death matches. You know, you want the tag team wrestling, we have tag team wrestling, you know. So, and again, you got a lot of these up and coming great young wrestlers who push old men like me to go to that next level, you know, because again, you're going to hit that peak where you get comfortable, right? And for me, it's the guys like the Juicies and the Midas Creeds and the Zoes and, you know, even Dark Sheik, you know, her and just everyone out there, you know, Sean Sims and Devin Danger, those guys, you know, watching them work, it pushes me because, again, I got comfortable at one point. You know, I had that pity party, broke my neck. Oh, look at me. I can't move. I can't do what I used to do. And then watching them and, man, it just relit that fire under me. And now it's like, I'm going. Ain't nothing stopping me.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, the injuries that wrestlers sustain, you know, it's fucking nuts, the willpower that you guys have, you know, to just push through. You ever been like on a booking, you know, like a booking spree where you just got back-to-back shows and then you catch an injury on the beginning, or fucking have to wrestle through some difficult matches with the injury?
Yeah. I mean, I've done it through my whole football career, you know, my rugby career, MMA, pro wrestling. It happens, you know, injuries happen.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who's played some type of sport, they just know, like, you're always taught, are you injured or are you hurt? If you're hurt, you can still go.
Yeah.
If you're injured, then that's a different story. Again, I always tell all these young kids, if you're injured, don't be dumb. I've done that when I first started my pro wrestling career. I completely tore my ACL.
Yeah. Fuck.
Completely tore it to where my toe touched my thigh.
Ooh.
And I played it off like, oh no, I'm just, you know, I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt. And that took a year and a half of my pro wrestling career. And at that time, I was only wrestling 7-8 months.
Yeah.
And I lost almost a year and a half because I wanted to prove that, oh no, I'm a tough guy. And it took a year and a half of my life away from the pro wrestling world, you know? So that's the difference. If you're hurt or injured, there is a complete difference. Because if you're hurt, yeah, I mean, you can, you know, some people like to, you know, do their own stuff to medicate. And then there's, you know, your other medications and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's your call. And like I said, every single one of us has done it at least once in our careers where we just, you know, went through the injuries and just went on through. Like I said, when I broke my neck, I didn't even know I broke my neck.
Fuck.
And at the time, I was playing middle linebacker. So I would play middle linebacker on Saturday, wrestle Saturday night, and do an MMA match on Sunday, and I just, again, I didn't think nothing of it. I just, my hands and fingers went numb.
Yeah.
I just thought I was going too hard, and hey, surprise.
Damn, that's crazy. It was a cumulative injury, or was it like one specific thing? You
I couldn't even tell you
you're
when I
doing
did it.
so much at that time.
Yeah. At that time, like I said, I was still playing football, still doing MMA fights, still doing pro wrestling, and like I said, I'll be Saturday football in the morning, and then wrestling at night, and then Sunday, whether it was a jiu-jitsu tournament or Valley Tudo or MMA kickbox, it didn't matter. And then vice versa, we rotated like Saturdays and Fridays, or I have a show on Friday, football Saturday, wrestling Saturday night, and then wrestling Sunday. Like, just really varied. And again, like I said, it was one of those things where playing middle linebacker, like I said, you're making my highlight reel. I'm not making yours. So I'm trying to end your career by just lighting your ass up. Pro wrestling, same thing. Like, I like doing the fun, crazy bumps sometimes. And like I said, didn't even know it. My hands were just going numb and my legs would go numb. And I just thought I just was going too hard, but
Yeah. That's crazy. So you've been involved in sports in your entire life. What was the first sport that you were, like, first team sport you were involved in?
Football.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
football
young were you when you started?
Honestly, it's crazy because like, I love baseball. Love it. Like, that's my number one sport. And just my dad, when he was younger, obviously my grandfather like forced all my uncles to play baseball, and they ended up hating it. But so my dad didn't want to do that to me. He wanted to wait till I was older to make my own decision. So honestly, my first team sport was my freshman year in high school.
Damn.
And that was that was football.
What a trip, man. You just felt like a natural getting into it, or did it take a lot of practice and training?
Well, I mean, I think it was, I don't know, I don't want to sound cocky, but yeah, it was kind of natural because my freshman year, I would have bet my life I was a tight end.
Yeah.
I would have bet my life. Like, I can catch, like, there's like stickum on these hands. Like, I can catch anything. But it wasn't the fastest. I didn't run no 4.4, 4.3 40. And at the time, I had a strong arm. I always had a strong arm. Like, when I was younger, throwing rocks as far as I could and stuff like that. And we had a scrimmage game, and I'm just warming up, and I'm just throwing the ball 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 yards like it's nothing. And our quarterback at the time was barely struggling to throw like 7 yards. And our coach after the scrimmage was like in my office. And I was like, oh, shit, what did I do? And he was like, you're our new quarterback. And I was like, Coach, I never play quarterback. I don't know what to do. He's like, well, you got a week to prepare because our season starts. And I was like, I'm a tight end. And he was like, you're going to be a blocking tight end because our quarterback can't throw for shit. And I guess he's seen something because I ended up playing quarterback and went on to varsity in my sophomore year and broke some school records and, got a scholarship playing quarterback. My first pro contract was as a quarterback. And then, by year 2 of my pro career, I was like, I like to hit. So I ended up converting to linebacker.
Yeah, what a trip. That was the foreshadowing for, your future career, which you'd end up doing, hitting people, man.
Oh, yeah. Just
That's crazy, man. So when you're doing these like shows, because like UGWA's a really it's a really intimate show with the crowd because it's small, it's kind of packed in there, and there are people literally on the outside of the ring. You've also done bigger shows as well. What kind of shows do you like more?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. Because what I like about what we do is, like you said, the crowd's always there. You know what I mean? Like, I got to wrestle for Impact before, the pandemic and all that, where I was actually in arenas. And it was cool, but the crowd was spaced out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I like about, like, indie shows is the crowd's there. Like I said, whether they hate you or they like you, it's hard to explain. It's a different feeling. Like, I love it. I mean, I don't care if there's 10,000 people or, 8 people. I've wrestled a show where there was 6 people there, And but my thing is I was always taught you never know who's in the crowd. You know, with that sixth person could be somebody, you know. And sure as shit, I went to Indiana, I believe it was, and I wrestled this show, and it was a hardcore match. And I was just like talking to my opponent, like, "Do you want to really go all out? Because it's six fucking people, man." And he was just like, and I was like, "You know what? Let's just do it. Fuck it. Let's just go out there. Let's have fun. It is what it is." And just so happened there was someone in that crowd, and they liked what we did, and we ended up getting to travel, you know, up and down California and doing the shows because they liked it. So for me, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put on the best show I can possibly put on, whether it's like I said, six people or, you know, 100,000. It doesn't matter. Like that's just my mentality. So yeah, to answer your question, doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you.
That's sick, man. Fuck. I mean, I definitely see it, dude. I'm getting it's funny because like I compare the the indie shows that I've seen to like fucking Attitude Era back in the day. Like that was that I grew up with that, so that was like the epitome of wrestling for me. I was like, it's just constant entertainment, and it's like the show that you guys deliver for the crowd is fucking fantastic. I want to know what's gonna happen next, and then like last minute on the fly shit happens. Like I believe last month when Big Baby Powder wasn't able to make it, and you ended up wrestling, or I think that was 2 months ago, and you ended up wrestling Big Ugly, like, but the story came together. Like I remember Sheik came out running at the end because Sheik was already running like a story or doing an angle with Titus Alexander, and like, did you guys plan all this shit together? Do you all come up? Who went up to who? Did you go up to Sheik, or did Sheik come up and say, "Hey, let me run in and do this," or did it kind of just happen? Oh, okay.
I don't know.
That shit's insane, man.
Stars just aligned.
Yeah, and
Stars just lined up.
It's so good, man, because like I talk about like I try to watch WWE here and there now, or like I try to watch like the bigger shows, and I feel like storyline is like one thing I'm really looking for. Like the wrestling is phenomenal, and I see some crazy shit. AJ Styles, man, that guy's off the hook. Like still, he's just always delivering, man. And I like the new creative shit that they're doing during the pandemic, like when they had him go against Undertaker. Like, did you see that match where they were like in the graveyard?
The cinema style matches.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think
and that's like you just said. It's whether it's the big time shows, WWE, NXT 2.0, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan. Again, they have something for everybody. You know what I mean? Like you go on social media, you hear everyone bash WWE, right? But I promise you, if you have 90% of these indie wrestlers you bash you, if they offered them a contract, they'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah, Team WWE." But that's the beauty of it. Again, it's not for everybody. You don't have to like it, but I don't know, man. It's just for me. There's so many options now. You know what I mean? Like for any up and coming talent that's young and hungry, before it was just WWE. Now you got AEW. Ring of Honor has always been there, and they're starting to get popular once again. Impact, and there's other promotions for everybody now. So I don't know, man. Like for me, it's a fucking good time to be a pro wrestling fan. I enjoy it, but do I watch it all the time? I'll be honest with you. I watch all the older stuff. That's just stuff I grew up on.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it a little more. But like you said, the storytelling and selling and stuff like that, I think it's a little more back then, old school style wrestling. Because nowadays, I mean, these fucking guys and girls are, oh my God, super athletic. They're doing shit that I'll never dream of doing. And, and it's just, that's the beauty of it. You got those men and women doing stuff like that, and then you got us old guys like myself who, could I do a 450? Yes. Have I done one? Yes. But for me personally, it's why. Why do I need to do that? I know what I want to do. I know what my persona is. I know this, and it just doesn't fit. I was lucky enough to where I started, you know, the promoter was friends with a lot of like WWE Hall of Famers and stuff like that. And they come to some of our practices and give us pointers. And, like my very first like big show, Kevin Nash and X-Pac were on there.
Damn.
And I was the opening match. And Kevin Nash comes up to me and he was just like, "Hey kid, you're the opening match. So you're setting the tone for this match or for this show." So he was like, "Don't fucking suck, because if you suck, this show's gonna suck." And I'm just like, holy shit, man. And mind you, I've been in the business maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, Kevin Nash has told me not to fucking suck.
Yeah.
So fast forward to the match, from bell to bell, and I'm talking entrance to leaving the match. Me and Victor Sterling, we were new. So we rushed, and man, from entrance to exit was like 6 minutes total.
Oh shit.
It was crazy, but I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I just started talking.
You said you met Gangrel, David Heath.
Yes.
One time. How was that? How did that pan out?
I mean, just like as a wrestling fan, the Brood. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest, the Brood was dope. The entrance,
the dun dun
the
dun
theme.
dun.
Oh my god, it
Yeah.
was so awesome, But I think he's very underrated. I don't think he gets as much credit as he should get.
Yeah.
He got that bad rap because he cut that one promo and everyone's like, "Oh, he can't fucking his high pitched voice or whatever." But that dude is so smart.
Yeah.
He critiqued one of my matches one time and it just stuck with me. And he's not one of those guys where I've been to the top and then don't talk to me. I mean, I've been on shows where he's watching every match and he's giving pointers to everybody. He's not greedy with his knowledge. The dude was just awesome, super awesome. Nothing but good things about him. Nothing but good things about him.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. I remember he did that one. They did that one angle where he ended up like almost. He had a close call with that one where they had him on the ropes, and I think like Midian was holding him there. They ended up having to cut him out. Like it was super close call, and then that was like a big thing, I guess, at the time. And like he was in there, man. It's crazy how it's like. I definitely agree with you that he's like underappreciated for like what he brought there and delivered it. Him, Edge, and Christian coming out there, man. And then my wife, she got a vintage shirt with the Brood on it, and I used to, whenever we'd be drinking, I used to put on the theme song, and like she'd have to start walking like that and shit.
Oh yeah, I mean that entrance. I mean shit, when Edge did it, one of the pay-per-views, like the goosebumps pop up. And that's, like I said, fuck man, that's why I love pro wrestling. Stuff like that, you hear a music and you get goosebumps.
Yeah.
And it just brings you back. Like, oh man.
And the bloodbath and the fucking the lights go out. The lights come on. So I love that shit, man.
So dope. Yeah. So, I mean, I do that now. Like, when I go to the gym sometimes, and I'll just make a mix of like entrance theme songs. And man, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been getting some of the best workouts just listening to the entrance musics. It just gets you all pumped up, and it brings you back to being when you were a young fan. And oh man, I don't know. Can't stress it enough. I love wrestling.
So right now you're coming out to Tech 9 when you're when you're doing it. Do you think are you gonna like eventually get your own like original theme song that is that like in the works or in the plans?
So I have an original theme song. It's just, so one of my friends, I played football with them as well. His name's City P, very talented artist. Look him up. But he made me a theme song. I just couldn't really use it because the promotions at the time, or even still some of those promotions, they're kid friendly and stuff like that, and there's a lot of cussing in it.
Oh, okay.
So I do have one. It's just I got to use it at the right shows per se. So yes and no, basically. I have it, but I can't use it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what Phoenix Kid was saying. He's like he does different, he does like a death match one time, and then he'll do a show where it's like all ages, like a family type thing or whatever. So that's a trip, yeah, because you're jumping, these to these different organizations for these like bookings, and I didn't think about that. It's like, yeah, the
Yeah.
music, how you present yourself too. Like you probably don't wear the violent as fuck shirt when you go to those ones, huh?
No, I do. So
Uh,
with me, Mr. Ego, Tony Vargas are, the egotistical psychopath of the machine. For me, no matter where I'm going, you're getting him
yeah,
straight up. Yeah, the egotistical. I'm not gonna, use barbed wire and stuff like that in some of these promotions, but you're gonna get the same experience. Whether like I said, if it's 21 or over, you're getting the death matches or whatever the case may be for the match. But yeah, no matter what show I'm doing, I got a show tonight in Modesto for TWF, and they're gonna get egotistical psychopath.
yeah,
I got a shirt that says I don't have anger issues. I'm violent as fuck. I'm not gonna dummy down who I am because of the shows, whatnot. But again, you still have to find that balance per se. But again, Mr. Ego, Tony Vargas, is the same at Joe Schmo's wrestling promotion or WWE, unless they change them. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna get.
yeah.
So yes, sir.
Damn, I think that's cool, man. It's like, and it's your brand too. It's who you are. It's like, where's the merch at? When are we getting some merch? I know everybody wants some psychopath merch.
So I got 3 shirts coming. So they'll be definitely at the next UGWA show. So the next UGWA show I'll be on is November. So they'll be there for sale. I have 3 different ones. So like I said, for me, supply and demand. All my shirts are limited. I don't make extras or any of that. So once they sell out, they sell out. And I make 20 of each. So there's going to be 20 in the world. And that's that. That's just how I do it. I've always done it that way. Again, if you have, your shirts and you got 600 of them, you sell out and you have 600 more, and then you make 600 more and you're stuck with 580 of them, I'm out all that money.
Yeah. So your merch
So,
is like, it's kind of like the Jordans of the wrestling world, because once they're gone, and if you got it, you're lucky enough to have it.
and that's it. Like I said, I'm gonna have 3 different shirt styles, 20 of them each, and when they're gone, they're gone. Back in the day, I was in a tag team called Chaos Inc., and we were just running shop on the tag team division, and we won our 5th tag titles out of different promotion. So I made a limited run of, I think it was like 25 shirts, and our colors were red and black. So I ended up making a black and gold one to commemorate, and I put all the titles and all that on there, and I made 25 of them. And I still get people to this day like, hey, when are you going to make more of those? And I'm like, that was it.
Damn.
And that's just, I don't know, like for me, for those selected few who bought those shirts, I want it to mean something. They bought my shirt because they really wanted it, not because, fuck, I got extra money, let me just buy this shirt.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So like all my merch it's if you bought it, that means you really wanted it. That's how I look at it. And it's going to be appreciated instead of, I just bought it to buy it, So I don't know. That's just, I don't know if it's a weird way of thinking, but that's just how I always thought. So
Yeah, hell yeah, man. No, that's that's how you get that demand. You build that demand too as well. Because I fucking went to the last 2 shows like, where's the merch at? I need this shit, and now I'm pumped. Like, best believe I'm snagging some of them shirts.
and that's the thing of it, man. It's, you just said it, and I think we talked before. It's when I'm at these shows and people are like, where's your shirt? Where's your shirt? Where's your shirt? So it starts off with 1 person, and then 5, and then 10, and then 20, and then 30, and then before you know it, at the end of the shows, it's like, I need a shirt. When are you gonna have merch? When are you gonna have merch? So that's like I said, that's the beauty of Tony Vargas's merch. It's, the buildup is gonna be there. So when I have it, it's first come, first serve. Again, 20 shirts of each style. I'm gonna have 60 shirts out there. I don't even keep them for myself.
Yeah.
You know,
Damn.
so it's just one of those things. And to me, the reason why I don't keep them for myself is because that fan who really wanted that shirt, again, it's gonna mean something to them.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, whether you hate me or you love me or whatever the case may be, or you're not sure how you feel towards me, when you buy that shirt and you wear it, you're gonna be like, this dude's a fucking nutcase. But I got his shirt. And like I said, it's just, to me, I feel it means a little more, you know. So there you go.
Right on. So yeah, we're running right now. I think a little bit past what, you know, the time you said.
Let's
But
keep going.
oh fuck
Come
yeah,
on.
cool,
We keep
cool.
going. You keep going.
Well, yeah, man, fuck. I mean, shit. So you got how many bookings do you have like set right now? Like for the that you can talk about that you'd like to promote too.
Honestly, I just go like week by week. I mean, I have it all written down, but like for example, this week coming up today, I have TWF in Modesto. Friday, I think it's the 8th. Friday's the 8th. I don't know. But this Friday, I'm big time wrestling in Newark. I'm going against JR Kratos. That should be a fun match. Yeah, those are the only two I really know offhand.
Yeah.
I know I got some more dates and some more bookings elsewhere, and I have some places I got to go where I can't really talk about right now, but
Yeah.
kind of see how those go. But yeah, I mean, it's filling up. It's filling up, so that's a plus.
So you're in the fucking gym. I see you like every day almost. You hit the gym every day?
I try to. So my thing is I got lazy, and I'll admit it. You know, when I was fighting full time, you know, I had a good diet and stuff. And again, I walk around, I'm 245, and I used to fight 170.
Yeah.
And then I'll bulk back up to 245 to play football, and then cut back down to 170. And then once I stopped fighting, I didn't see that end goal. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a goal to make a certain weight. So I got lazy, and then I broke my neck. And then I had that pity party. Like, oh, look at me. I can't do shit. And blah, blah, blah. And so I put on some weight, and I think it was, I don't know, a couple months back. I was looking at the photos, and I was like, fuck, that's me. And I was just like, son of a bitch, like, what did I do?
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, you don't really realize it because you see your body every day, you know? But I started realizing, like, when I seen that photo, I was like, nope. So I started changing shit. So, yeah, so I go to the gym now, and, you know, and I'm, like I said, I'm motivated. This is the first time I've been motivated since I was fighting.
Yeah.
You know, like these young guys, they motivate me, you know, watching their matches and shit like that. I'm like, fuck, I know I can still do this shit, you know? So it's just one of those things where I got lazy, had the pity party, and now, you know what, I'm focused. I've already lost 30 pounds. Yeah, just, man, it's so easy to get lazy. And then obviously COVID, you know?
Yeah.
Can't really do much. And it's funny because like I use that as an excuse, like, oh, the gyms ain't open, so not gonna work out. But like where I live, there's parks, there's stairs,
Yeah.
there's so much shit I could have done, but I didn't because I wanted to eat cheeseburgers and drink beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely went up fucking 2 sizes or 3 sizes in pants and jeans when COVID happened. I was like, fuck, man. I got to the point where I was like, can I wear sweatpants everywhere?
And yeah, you know, man, like for me, like I said, everyone's asking, what's your diet like? What's your diet like now? Because again, I mean, I'm losing the weight. And to be honest with you, I didn't switch it.
Yeah.
I just don't eat as much, if that makes sense. You know, like in the mornings, you go to 7-Eleven and get some shit, and then you get hella energy drinks. And then throughout the day, you do fast food. And then at night, you're probably eating fast food and whatever. So, like with me, like I'll still have fast food, but I won't eat the fries and drink the soda.
Yeah.
I'll just have, like, if I get a burger, I'll just eat the burger, and that's it. But I'll drink my water. I love water. I drink like 1.5 gallons a day. And that's
Jesus
just from
Christ.
Yeah, that's just from years of just
That's a lot of
fighting. Just so I love water. Like that's, if I had a drink of choice for the rest of my life, it is just ice cold water.
Yeah.
I love that shit. But yeah, so I mean, I'll still have a bag of chips. I'll still do all that, but I just, again, I won't have as much, beer. I'll still drink, but I'm not gonna kill a 30 pack no more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, like I know a lot of these people they count their calories and they'll drink like the seltzers and stuff. And that's cool. Like I'll have a couple of those, but I'm not gonna completely alter my life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've done that before, and I've done it for years, and I didn't like it. And I was healthy but unhealthy, if that made sense. Now, I'm healthy. Yeah, okay, I'm a little rough around the edges in some parts, but fuck, my cardio is better than 99% of these young guys. I know I can outwork and outlift and shit like that. Like I don't need to be built like a Greek god no more, because like I said, realistically in the real world, I look the way I look. And if shit ever popped off, I know I can handle myself without a fucking 6-pack. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you can have a 6-pack, but can you fight?
Yeah.
In the real world, like what you can do, you can lift up your shirt and be like, touch it, just don't beat me up. That's
Yep.
I don't know. That's just how I look at it. Like now, I'm healthy. Yeah, I mean, ideally, a healthy person has a 6-pack, and that's the fucked up image of like magazines and shit like that. Is what's truly healthy. My thing is healthy to me is I can still get up, I can still move, I can still run around. I can tie my shoe without fucking being out of breath.
Yeah.
And I can still do my job and all that stuff. That's so like right now I feel healthy, I feel good. I'm losing the weight. So all in all, like I said, I don't know, just fucking feel like I'm 19 again.
You taking so when you work out, do you do like the protein powder and all that shit, or you just
Nope.
Really? So pre-workout or all just?
No, like I'll do a pre-workout here and there, like every other day. I won't do it like every day, but every other day I'll do one. But I don't know, I was never really a fan of like supplements and shit like that. But I mean, once in a while I'll get that boost of a pre-workout. But yeah, I don't do protein shakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I was
old school.
Never done it.
Pumping iron.
Yeah, just get your good sweat on. Put a sweater on and just.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
The old way.
What do you remember the first time you had to cut weight in MMA? Like, or was it kind of like your natural weight? Because you used to fight. You said at welterweight, right? Or did you fought at lightweight? Yeah. Didn't you? 155.
I fought at one point at 155. I fought 155, 170, 185, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Yeah. So I've done all of them.
That's crazy.
And there's points where I bounced around.
Yeah.
But yeah, like cutting weight for me wasn't as hard as people would think. And again, I'm only speaking for myself. I'm sure there's people out there who had to cut weight and they're like, it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But for me, for some reason, it came easy. Cause like ever since I was young, I've always like when I did cardio, I always wore a sauna suit. I don't know why. I just always wore it. And I enjoy sitting in the sauna. When it's where I live in the valley, it's, it gets to 108 degrees and I enjoy going in a run in 108 degrees with the sweater on, and sweats. Like it just, I don't know. It just never really bothered me. But I would say though, I did the 155 twice and never again.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel right. Like mentally, physically, just everything just fell off. Yeah. I was lucky enough to win those matches. One of them was pure luck. Dude was whooping my ass and he shot on me and I just caught him in a guillotine choke and but yeah, I don't really recommend that.
Yeah, going down too much in weight. It's a trip too, because I mean some people like they thrive on that, having that, power and going down, but then sometimes it's like it's like, it's maybe not the best decision. Like fucking McGregor at featherweight. That guy's a fucking beast at featherweight. But anything bigger than that, it's like, but I think he doesn't like cutting the weight because he doesn't look healthy fucking at featherweight either. He looks like a stick, man.
You know what though? It's age.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, the older we get, it's harder to cut the weight, and yeah, when they're in the weigh-ins, they look unhealthy, but of course we were younger, you know what I mean? Like it's easy to us, but as you get a little older and like McGregor, for example, he's gotten a little older. He's got a family now. it wasn't just him at the time. At the time, it was just him, so he can do whatever he wanted, cut to whatever he needed to, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But now he's got that family, he's got the kids, and it's a different mindset. You know, that's why you look at McGregor back then, what, 7-8 years ago, and you look at McGregor now, it's night and day.
Yeah.
You know, like it's, I hate to say it, but for me personally, it's almost laughable. You know, it just reminds me of like, I don't know if you ever seen like those movies where the old school high school superstar still goes to the high school parties 20 years after graduating, still rocking their Letterman jacket. That's what McGregor kind of reminds me of now. It's like, you know, you did your shit. You were the cocky motherfucker. You backed it up. Now it's like, yeah, people are still talking about you, but it's almost because they feel sorry for you. So they're like, oh, McGregor, you silly goose. Yeah. But again, don't get me wrong. You're still a fucking beast and all that. But I don't know. That's just how I feel. It's like, you know, there's got to come a point where all of us got to realize, you know, we're not spring chickens anymore. You know, we are getting older. And like with me, I can only speak for myself. I knew when it was time to walk away from MMA.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm in class and I'm seeing these kids, and I'm saying kids because I've seen kids start from 7 years old and then they're at 14 and they're fucking kicking harder than a 27-year-old. They just,
damn.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When I got into MMA, it wasn't as popular. You know, at the time I got in, the biggest name was BJ Penn.
Yeah.
And then it was Matt Hughes. And then it was, you know, it just started going up. And then once the Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz rival came up, it was like, ooh, who are these guys? So when I came up in it, it was frowned upon, basically. It was like, oh, you do that barbaric shit. It's like, I guess. But I'm getting paid, so it's kind of cool.
Hell yeah, man. And I know, and now it's like, it's like the biggest shit in the world, you know? Like now it's fucking, it's crazy. Like I feel like a lot of people were, there are a lot of sad stories out of MMA too. I mean, wrestling too. There are a lot of sad, like they got Dark Side of the Ring and shit, you know, but MMA is
that's
like,
anything though, bro.
Yeah.
That's anything. That's any professional sport. Because the thing is you heard me say earlier, like pro wrestling, for example, it's a different high, right? Like you look at the wrestlers in the heydays, you're walking out there and you have 100+ screaming fans daily.
Oh yeah.
And then you get older, it's not there no more. What are you gonna do when that's all you know?
Yeah.
You get in that depression, you do the drugs, you do all that shit and whatnot. And again, you're right. It sucks because, for example, me looking at my childhood and the wrestlers I grew up watching, 80% of them are dead. You know what I mean? And I think Jake Roberts said it the best, and I think it was like Resurrected Jake Roberts or something. He's like, you know, it's a different high. I'm going in here, you know, I'm having different women doing whatever I want, this and that and whatever. And then as he was older, you seen him, he was just depressed and hated life and doing drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, there is a lot of sad stories. For me, again, I can only speak for myself, is I've always had the mindset of if it was meant to be, I would still be doing it.
Yeah.
You know, pro football, awesome experience. I have memories, I have pictures, I have my uniforms. You know, but that's in the past. I'm not going to dwell off, man, you know, if I had one more season, I'll admit, mentally, yeah, I still think I could play in the NFL. Realistically, probably not.
Yeah, you don't want to be
MMA. Yeah, like MMA. I know I can fucking go out there and bang with the best.
Yeah.
Realistically, probably not. You know, and that's the thing, is I stepped away at the right time. And I've accepted that I'm not as good as I once was, and I'm okay with it, you know. But I don't know.
Do you feel like having that view, like being able to identify that? Because they say, what do they say? A fool makes mistakes. A smart man learns from his mistakes, and then a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So do you feel like you got that wise man mentality? It's like seeing, you know, other people's shortcomings with shit like that. It's like, you know what to do. Like, you know, do you feel fortunate to like have seen that type of shit?
I do at some point, Because like for me, for example, it started when I was younger. You know, like my uncles and stuff. They're nice guys. Don't get me wrong. You know, my mom had 8 brothers, and what 5 of them are dead. They did drugs, they did all that stupid shit. So growing up, seeing that, I was like, I want to hang out with these guys. And then like as I got older, I had friends who like got into gangs and stuff like that. And I would look at their shot callers, and I'd be like, this fool's like 60, never had a job, still is with his grandparents. Like, what's cool about that?
Yeah.
And so I guess it started when I was younger. And then my pops, like, dude's a hard working man, you know, like he busted his ass off as a only income. And so I guess it started when I was younger, you know, and I'd never really had that mindset because I guess if you really had to trigger a moment was sorry,
It's all good.
But I don't know, man. Like I guess looking at others and like you said, seeing the wrestlers of yesteryears, looking at them now, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be like that. Like I love what I do. I want to be like that, you know. And again, if I walk away today, I'm okay. I don't need the recognition. You know, I don't need to walk down the street and hope someone recognizes me. Like,
yeah.
I'm okay with just blending in. Like, at this moment, you see me and you're like, oh, fuck, that's Tony Vargas. Cool. But if I walked away today, I would be happy. Like, I don't let what I've done in the past or what I'm doing now justify or build the path to who I am. You know, I've had the taste of walking away from pro wrestling because I had to retire.
Yeah.
And I was okay. But for me, it was more of, I'm happy with this decision, but I didn't go out my way. You know,
Damn.
And that was the thing too, it's just, I didn't go out my way. So that's why I kind of worked my way to kind of come back. And I'll be honest with you, this time around, it was more of just, let's just do a couple shows here and there. And it kind of took off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it just kind of took off. And I was like, oh shit. So, but at the end of the day, I don't need pro wrestling. I don't need MMA. I don't need football, as some people do, if that makes sense. Some people need this to feel relevant.
Yeah.
Some people need they need a title to feel like they did something or accomplished something. And I don't, because I know what I've done. I've done it. And who's going to tell me otherwise? You know, I didn't want to look back when I was 50 years old and be like, fuck, man, I wish I did that. You know, like so many have done. And I've done everything that I wanted to do. I was lucky enough to do it at a high level. And again, if I walk away today, I'm okay with the way my life turned out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still kind of healthy. You know, my bones, I get to play with my fucking kids. And, you know, I like to keep my personal life personal. That's why if you follow me, I don't show pictures of my kids or my personal life or any of that, because that's my shit.
Yeah.
That's my stuff.
Hey, man, that's how Nate Diaz is too. Like fucking, I think like something came out. Someone asked him, they were like, hey, how does it feel becoming a father? Like after one of his fights. And he was like, I don't want no baby sympathy. I don't talk about that shit on here. I'm talking about the fight. I'm here to fight. Don't bring my kids into this shit, you know? And I respect the hell out of that, you know? That's your personal life, you know?
Yeah. Because my thing is this, my social media is Tony Vargas, right? Mr. Ego, Tony Vargas. So what does my kids and family and all that have to do with Tony Vargas? Mm-hmm. You know, especially, you guys know, I'm a fucking dickhead. You know, Tony Vargas is an asshole. He's a heel. He's this. So, and that's another thing too. It's like, I know I'm not this big mainstream guy and people know who I am and this and that, but for me, Tony Vargas, that's going to be my social media, whether it's Twitter or what's the other one? Instagram. Those are the two I have.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to keep it Tony Vargas, you know, because there's nothing worse than, you know, me calling out Guido. Oh, Guido, I'm going to fucking kick your ass. You're a piece of shit and fuck you, blah, 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 all this and all that. And Phoenix Kid, you want some of this too, brother, blah, blah, blah. And then fucking post a picture of me playing with my kids.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's, oh my God. I don't know. And that, again, that's my personal life. If you're lucky enough to meet my family, cool.
You still there? Oh, sound cut out. Did you hit the microphone?
We good
All right,
now?
we're good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I hit the a little steering wheel because I have my phone on my steering wheel.
Oh, it's all good.
But yeah, that's just how I think. I've always done that. And, I want to separate my personal life from my sports.
Yeah.
And then it is what it is. So suck on that, hippies. No.
Yeah. Fuck, man. That shit's crazy, man. That's wild being a fucking heel too. Like, it's you as a person. Like you got to be true to yourself with what you're doing. Like, you ever seen some like off the wall ass gimmicks that people are doing that it's just so far from them? You're like, man, what the fuck? Be yourself.
Yeah, I mean that's again. I'm not here to judge anybody.
Yeah.
My thing is if you felt that's working for you, cool. Like I'm not here to be like, oh, you're stupid, because people probably think my shit's stupid, and I'm okay with that because it probably is. But I mean, yeah, I've seen some gimmicks where I'm just like, yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, and that's like for me, I like teaching. I like to get pointers, and I always tell everyone too. Yeah, I may not be your favorite wrestler, and I may not be this, 5-star match guy, but I see shit different. If that makes sense, like I see shit different for other people, and I always give them like, hey, if you do this, this, and this, and kind of work cool in this, but I never come up with shit for myself.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, like I like doing that, and I don't know, maybe when it's all said and done, I'll open up my own wrestling, MMA, boxing gym type shit.
Damn.
Because I love coaching. I love teaching. I tried doing it at my own promotion, and apparently it's frowned upon that when I train. But I don't know. My thing is this. It's funny, but my thing is this. It's like I've always was taught like MMA, for example. My instructor told me, hey, my instructor showed me this, but his instructor showed him that, and so on and so forth. So take what we told you and make it your own.
Yeah.
So I just always stuck with that, like I wish, like, for example, Big Time Wrestling, where my home promotion is, the head trainer there and myself, we were both trained by the same guy, but we got completely different styles. Now, is one better than the other? No. It's just he took what our trainer did and kind of kept it that way.
Yeah.
I took what our trainer did, kept some of it, but made it my own. Now is both ways, one way right, better or not? No. It's just how you took it. And I try to tell everyone that too. It's what I'm teaching you is not etched in stone. Just make it your own.
Yeah.
Just critique these little things and make it your own, and go from there. And that's, I don't know, man. That's just always been that way.
That's a trip because, I was a chef for fucking 10 years before I do what I do now. And that's basically my first kitchen I worked in. It was a Japanese kitchen. And that was very like how their mindset of like teaching us, they'd be like, yo, fucking, we're going to show you how to do this. You're going to learn it his way. You're going to learn it his way, and you're going to learn it his way. These are all traditional ways to do it. You just, what works for you the best, and
yeah.
That's the best way to teach people too.
I agree, because what works for me won't work for you. What works for you won't work for Joe Schmo coming in.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I think that's the biggest mistake is you're trying to copy and paste.
Yeah.
Now you can copy and paste when you're starting off. Like, hey, this is how you bump. This is how you roll. This is how you do this. You can copy and paste that. But end of the day, you got to make it your own, because my gimmick is completely different than, Sean Sims' gimmick, or Devin Danger, or, Brian Cage, or Will Hobbs, or any of those guys. My gimmick's completely different than theirs, and that's the beauty of it. Is just don't copy and paste yourself. Don't try to emulate somebody, and just make shit your own, man. Because it's pro wrestling. You're going to hear people, oh, he stole my move. He stole it. Motherfucker, ain't nobody steal nothing. Everyone stole someone's move and they just made it their own, You know, for example, Kenta and CM Punk. Oh, he stole my go to sleep. Okay, you should take that as a compliment. You know, because let's be honest, before CM Punk, a good percentage of people didn't know who Kenta was, unless you were a real diehard, you know, New Japan wrestling fan. So it's like you just got introduced to a whole new audience now. Like, oh shit, Kenta, who's this Kenta guy? Let's go on Google. Let's find out. Oh shit, this dude's amazing in the ring. Now I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But that's the problem nowadays is nobody wants to help nobody out. Like, for example, I get this rep for having an attitude or whatever, and that's where the Mr. Ego came from. I was like, fuck it, you guys think I have an ego, and you guys are gonna make me money. So that's how I started going by Mr. Ego. But you see this PMA, right? Positive mental attitude. You know, preach it, PMA. But yet the people who are sitting there going, oh, PMA, those are the same people bashing other people on the internet. And I'm like, you guys are contradicting yourself. You know what I mean? Or like you go on Twitter. I haven't had Twitter long. Fuck, man, that shit's toxic. You know, you go on Twitter and you see these quote unquote either indie superstars or these high class wrestlers, and they're talking shit about up and comers and they're talking shit about promotions and this and that. And in my head, I'm like, why don't you fucking give them pointers? Why don't you tell them, like, hey, you know, you did this wrong, maybe if you did this. No, hey, let's use my star power and bash this dude. Now you just fucking took something. You took his bookings down. Yeah. Because people are going to see your tweet. Now he ain't going to get booked. And let's say this person is the nicest fucking person in the world. You just took away from his dream because you wanted to be a dickhead and be like, oh, well, you posted a video and you fucking suck. Who the fuck are you, man? You know what I mean? Like, you'll get butthurt if someone said that shit to you. And that's why, dude, I don't really like Twitter, man. I don't really like social media because
it's toxic.
It's toxic.
It's easy to get sucked into that shit too. That's why I don't fuck with it. You know, like, I mean, I fuck with Instagram. I'm promoting the show. I'm on here, and I use it strictly for networking with people that, you know, I want to have on the show and keeping touch with like close people. But yeah, there's always that asshole that'll jump in the comments section and say some shit that if they catch you on the wrong day, you know, they're trying to get you. And I'm like, I don't know. I've been I remember when I was in high school, Facebook just came out. So I fucking was there from like, you know, when everybody started getting sucked in. That was right when I was, you know, at my social peak in high school, when I'm just, you know, that's all I give a fuck. You know, in high school, the only thing anybody gives a fuck about in high school is what everybody else is thinking about them and what they're doing and shit. And you're kind of like learning shit. And that was a goddamn terrible time for social media to just be coming out, man, for me. But you know, from learning that, it's like no personal info on there. Maybe I'll post a cool picture here or there, but I even like you know, posting like good shit happening to me. I don't like putting that shit on there because I don't want to fuck someone else's day up. Say someone's having a shitty day and then they look at me like having a good time, fucking partying or doing something. They're gonna be like, man, fuck this guy, you know.
And that's fuck, man. I don't know. I was actually talking about this today. You know, one of my buddies. I was like, "Fuck, man. No matter what you do nowadays, you're gonna irritate or piss somebody off." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like no matter what you do, you're just gonna piss somebody. Oh, you got a fucking haircut? Someone's gonna fucking cry about it. You know, or oh man, it's just fucking A.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure this interview is gonna piss somebody off. Yep. And you know what? Good.
Hell so, yeah.
That means I ruined your day. I did my job.
Who are you gonna call out, man? Are you calling anyone out on this shit?
I don't need to call nobody.
I know. You're the only person I would ask.
I'm the fucking alpha. You want it? You call me out.
Damn.
I don't need to call anybody out. That's the thing. I don't need a call out. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that match to feel relevant. I know I'm fucking relevant.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, call me out. Do your job. Call me out. I don't need to call nobody out. And that's just how I've always felt. Who do I need to call out? For what? To feel like I'm somebody? Shit, I already know I'm somebody. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, Joe Schmo, I'm going to call you up. Fuck that. You want it? Come get it. That's all I say. I'm not hard to find.
Yeah, hey, you got the title too, man, so people are eyeing you, I bet.
Yeah, so who? Exactly. I'm the fucking champ. Why am I calling you out? You want what I have. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's just, it is what it is. Like, I'm not calling nobody out because at the end of the day, what am I going to accomplish from that?
Yeah.
I'm the champ.
And that's some
You
GSP
know?
shit right there. Do you remember when GSP had the title? He was just like, I'm gonna let these guys do what they're gonna do. I did what I had to. Like every time he won, he'd be like, I did what I had to do. You know, I hate doing this shit. Fucking next guy that wants to call me out. But you love doing
Sure.
what you do.
I love it. I love it. You know, next man up. And that's the thing is you call me out, fuck, let's go out there. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
But don't cry when my hand's getting raised at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the facts of it, man. Like, I don't know. Just fucking go ahead, call me out. I'll have fun with you. I tell you what, I'll even like a comment on social media for you guys.
Damn. Have
Oh man.
I've seen like the most hardcore shit I've seen in probably in my life has been at UGWA events. What is that the promotion where you do the most the most extreme death matches, or have you done some other promotions that do some killer death matches as well in the past?
I mean, I've done some other ones, you know, but right now mostly it is UGWA.
Yeah.
You know, for UGWA, I've done it all. I've done tag matches at UGWA. I've done regular wrestling matches. I've done death matches. Like I said, for me, it's good to see, especially like with UGWA. You know, when I first started in this business, UGWA got talked about. Oh, they're yarders. They're this or that, whatever. And now it's funny because people who used to talk shit about them are the ones, hey, can you get me on that card? Or can you hit, who's the promoter? Who's this? Who's that? And it's like, so I'm not gonna lie. When I first did UGWA, I got so much shit for it. You know, and I was like, fuck it. I had more fun at that locker room, more fun with that talent and this and that than I do at a professional wrestling thing. You know what I mean? And now some of those people are hitting me up like, oh, hey, you think you can put in a word for me? And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, now it's cool.
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's fucking cool. You know, and again, that's what I love. I've always took chances on promotions people didn't really care for.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, there was a promotion called Fighting Spirit Pro. It was out in Merced and Atwater area. And for about 2.5 years, you know, it started making that climb. Unfortunately, it didn't last. But, you know, when I first did it, everyone was like, oh, I seen the crowd. There was like 5 people talking shit. Then the next show came. 5 went to 20. 20 went to 30. There was at one point where I think Impact Wrestling or whatever, something was running the same time we did, and we outdrew them. You know, I don't know, man. Like for me, if you're gonna book me, I'm giving you my all.
Yeah.
Straight up. I'll promote the shit out of your shows. You know, I'll give you my all, 100%. I'm down for whatever on the shows. Like I don't have that limit. You know, I'm like, fuck it, let's go. But the return for me is like when I first started, I didn't do these bigger shows. I always did these smaller shows, but it paid off because these smaller shows now are starting to become the bigger shows.
Yeah.
And some of the bigger shows are starting to become the smaller shows. Yeah. Like UGWA, for example, you know, they were the small show. They were the laughable show. Now look, everyone wants to be on their show. They got Devil's Night in Vegas. They got all the shit people want to be a part of that card. They got a fucking stacked young talent, veterans. Doesn't matter. Now it's like, oh, can I get on UGWA? Can I get on UGWA? Or, you know, just shit like that. And that's, for me, I always bet it on myself. I always like being the underdog. It's the same concept. I gave it my all for other smaller promotions to help try to build it.
Yeah.
And when you get the results of the small show becoming the show, fucking A, right? So that's the thing is like people get this mindset of I'm better than that. Oh, you've been in the business 6 years, kid. You're better than that. It's am I? You know, or when you see like schools preventing their students from wrestling other promotions, it's like you become a pro wrestler to wrestle.
Yeah.
You know, now this promotion is taking a risk on a quote unquote rookie to put them on a show so they can get that experience. Because what happens is if that student gets out and becomes really good, what's the first thing out of their mouth? Oh, where do you train? Oh, I train at, you know, Tony Vargas' Academy of Pro Wrestling. Who's your head instructor? Oh, Tony Vargas. You're getting not only your name out there, and of course you can have the the opposite effect too, or the kid's not good. And where do you train? Oh, Tony Vargas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't see how people get upset about someone who wants to be a pro wrestler and they want to wrestle and they're taking that chance of going outside the box, because you're training with these same people over and over and over and over and over, right? You're going to build that chemistry with that person. So when you go somewhere else and you don't have that chemistry, you're going to look like shit. So when you're going to these other promotions, and let's say smaller ones or whatnot, so by the time you do get to that big promotion, you're good.
Yeah.
Kind of like fighting, right? You start off in the amateur ranks, and then you get picked up by the Strike Forces, the Bellators, the UFCs, the Prides, and of course I'm naming some old shit, but
yeah,
you're getting the point. Like, you got to start somewhere to get there. And that's kind of like what I did. Was I knew my home promotion. I knew that was frowned upon going elsewhere, but I was like, fuck it. I'm going to bet on myself. Worst case scenario, they don't want me back. Cool. But at least I'm getting my name out there. So that's how I always looked at it. And again, that's why I always took chances on the smaller promotions and gave it my all to kind of, if it got to this level, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the one who single-handedly built it, but I took a chance on that promotion, and that promotion took a chance on me. And it's good to see that, that rise. So again, I look at shit completely different. Anyone who's ever wrestled me knows I don't give a fuck about doing moves. I'm like, let me get one move and beat the shit out of it.
Yeah,
like,
and
fucking man.
That shit's real too, man. It's raw as fuck. Like it was wild. My girl, when we walked away, she was like, she was like, BBP's okay. It was, and I was like, no, I don't think he's all right after that, man. I was like, what the fuck? But and that's the thing. It's like you're able to, people want to work with you that have that got bars in the game, man. I mean, like, Big Ugly's a OG. He's trained so many fucking bad motherfuckers, and then you guys go out there and do a killer show together. Like, that shit was great. And I was like, who else does Big Ugly like wrestle here? Who else does Big Ugly wrestle? And I was like, fuck, like Sheik is like the only. And then it was Sheik and Ugly the next month, and I was like, oh shit, like, it's like you guys are on. You have ascended to that fucking level of where it's like, this is the show here. I mean, Titus came out, he gets everything riled up, he gets everything going. You could throw Sheik in there with a fucking, you ever seen that like guy wrestling the dummy? The fucking there's like this dude in Japan, he wrestles like a fucking, it's like a mannequin, but he does a whole ass match out of it. He does like a 8-9 minute match, and it was entertaining from the beginning to the end. And I feel like that's how Sheik kind of is, like with the microphone. Like Sheik can fucking, play with the crowd, make people cheer, make people boo, make people chant, like do all this shit in the same thing. And it's like, and then you come out there and you just shut everyone up. Like, it was fantastic, bro. Like, that shit is.
That's for me. I did my job.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And that's what
like
you
I
set
said,
out to do.
You hear me say it all the time. You can love me or hate me.
Yeah.
You will be fucking entertained. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not here to be your favorite wrestler. I'm not here to be. I have a job to do. I know what I want to do with that job. And did I succeed at doing that job? And you'll hear me say it a lot, and I'm probably going to get slack for this, but my motto is it's fuck the boys. And it's not like, oh, these guys are assholes or this and that. Because if you have that mentality of, I need to impress these guys all the time, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You're going to fail. And again, it's nothing against the boys. It's just, that's my mentality. My mentality is when I go out there and I do my job, I'm not here to impress you guys.
Yeah.
Now, if I do, that's a plus. But that's not my goal. My goal is not to impress you guys. If the promoter and the fans loved it, I did my job.
Yeah.
Now, again, if the boys love it, fucking A, that's a plus. But that is not my goal. If I go in the back and the boys are like, oh, that fucking sucked, I'm like, okay, cool. But the crowd was entertained and the promoter loved it. So your opinion don't matter.
Yeah.
Now, unless you're going to come to me like, hey, if you would have done this different, it would probably look cool, I'm all ears. But if you're going to come to me like, oh, that fucking sucked and whatever, then guess what, dude? Your shit don't matter to me. because you better either outshine me
Yeah.
or you better not fuck up, because you come back, I'm gonna critique the shit out of you too. But and like I said, it's not nothing. It's not malicious when I say fuck the boys. It's just my mentality is I can't please everybody. You know what I mean? There's gonna be someone in that locker who don't like me for some weird reason because this wrestler didn't like me because I wore the same T-shirt as him. And trust me, it is that petty. And I'm okay with that. So when I say fuck the boys, again, it's not like malicious or any of that. It's just more of,
Yeah.
hey, the opinions that matter are the promoters and the fans. If
Yeah.
both of them like it, I did my job. Now, if you want to come at me and give me some pointers and shit like that, fucking A. I'm all about it. I'm all ears. I'm all this. Because again, for me personally, it's easy to tell somebody they suck, right? Easy. You're like, fucking Dave, you suck. Okay, why? Why do you suck? Oh, because of this, this, and this. But if you do this, this, and this, it'll help you with that. And that's just how I've always been. Again, I earned this rep, but people don't really they don't bother to talk to me because, a quote unquote indie superstar didn't like me because he talked shit about me on the internet. And in real life, face to face, I called him out on it. And now I'm the asshole?
Yeah.
Really? Really? Fuck it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing is like, I don't know. Fucking hell. Again, I just love what the fuck I do, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Man, I feel like you got some Brian Pillman in you, man, like with the way you run, the way you carry yourself, as a wrestler, like, cuz half the time I'm like, is this a fucking work or is this like this is Tony Vargas? But I know it's Tony fucking Vargas. Like, that's the crazy shit. Like, I see you on Twitter calling out Bossman Slash, well, just saying shit to Bossman Slash, and I'm like, wait a minute, is he about to like not be on the card now? But then you show up and you fucking rock that shit and fucking. But then I'm looking at Slash while you're wrestling, and he's like fucking just freaking the fuck out. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, dude, it's so sick. Like, that adds that. As a outside looking in, like, fan of wrestling and enjoying the show, that's engaging as fuck. Like, what are you gonna do next? And that's something I think everybody used to ask about Brian Pillman. It's like, the fuck is this guy gonna do next?
And honestly, that's the beauty of it. That blurred line, you don't know where it starts and where it ends. Like you just said, is it a shoot? Is it a work? I'll never admit to what's what. No one will know that. And that's the beauty of it. You give me that mic and I cut a promo. And I go on that back and the boys or anybody is quiet because they're wondering, was that a work or was it a shoot? That to me is something I kind of take pride in. Because if you want to look at it as a shoot and you hate me for it, I did my job. If you want to look at it as a work and you hate me for it, I did my job. I kind of always had that mentality even with football. The mindset of the defense, right? For example, it's defense wins championships.
Yeah.
I'm not telling no lie there. I mean, everyone who's a sports fan's heard that, right? Do you know what I did in training camp? My first pro year. I started off as a quarterback. I wore a T-shirt. In the front, it says, defense don't win championships. In the back, it said, I do. So, of course, no one knows me. I'm this new rookie quarterback coming in with this fucking T-shirt that says defense don't win championships. I do. So now I riled up the defense. Offense is looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So now practice starts. My turn to go under center. I tell the defense, you cross this line, you're making my highlight tape. I ain't making yours. So again, I was fortunate enough. I played rugby for so many years, and being the only non-Polynesian or Pacific Islander or anything on that team, I had to learn how to hit. Because let's be honest, those boys could hit hard. So I had to learn how to hit. So sure as shit, I made a statement, dropped back. They gave me the yo shit lookout play where the line just spread open and the deep linebacker came untouched. I said, fuck yeah, let's do this. I hit that linebacker so hard that paint fell off. And they called practice time. So they looked at me and they're like, what the fuck's your problem? And I was like, me? And I was like, they're like, yeah, what's your problem? I go, look around. I go, is everyone riled up and ready for fucking practice? And they're like, well, yeah, because they're on your head. And I go, good. That means I did my job.
Yeah.
You know, because when I'm out there, I don't want no fucking, because I was a quarterback that you guys fucking pussyfooted around me. Because everyone's got that image that quarterbacks are soft, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking soft quarterback. And I wasn't kidding when I said you cross that line, you're making my highlight tape. So when I hit him, fucking paint flew off our helmets. And I was standing and he wasn't. That whole practice was different from that point on. It was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go to work. Let's have, and that was it. And to this day, they didn't know if I was being a dickhead, if I was just trying to rile up, but it worked. And I just kind of always stuck with that. You got to blur that line to the point where no one knows and no one's ever going to know. So
damn.
Take that for what it is.
Yeah, so that's fuck, man. That's fucking crazy. And that's part of the repertoire, man, of your many talents that you fucking have. Oh shit. It looks like we got someone in the live chat. Let me see what they're saying. They are asking a question. I can't see.
Yeah, that's real.
That's fucking nuts, man. I gotta see what they're asking us right now. I haven't been reading comments on these shows, and people are like, fucking nuts. This guy said, I heard Vargas's beard is glued on. Confirm, deny.
Can't really answer
that. That's fucking... That was said by a guy named Dagger Wolf.
Yeah, that one I can't confirm nor deny if it's plugs or if it's natural.
Oh shit. Oh, that's fucking crazy. Fuck, dude. So you used to do MMA and fucking Strikeforce and shit. How did you feel like when you made your debut in Strikeforce? Was that shit like overwhelming? Like, was it, how big was Strikeforce at the time when you signed with them?
So they're pretty big. Unfortunately, I didn't make my debut with Strikeforce. So I signed with them.
Yeah.
And on the verge of making my debut, I had a sick ass poster and all that shit made for me, and because on my back. So the nickname I earned in MMA was the Machine.
Yeah. And
I have it across my spine. It says, or my shoulder, sorry. It says the Machine. I have a mechanical spine with gears and pistons and shit like that. So I had a picture on my back and it said the Machine coming soon. And then the UFC bought them.
Fuck.
So the UFC only took selected people's contracts, as they should, the people who, like, who's going to have more ticket sales. The Diaz, was it Nick Diaz and the Scrap Pack, basically. They all got to go to UFC and a couple other fighters and stuff. But
yeah.
So I didn't actually get to make my Strikeforce debut, but I have a sick ass poster of it. What? So
that's hard.
Yeah. So I mean, disappointed, I guess you would say, because I didn't get to make that debut. But I mean, it was pretty popular back then. You had Strikeforce, you had the UFC, you had what was the other one? Elite FC.
Yeah.
There was Pride. I mean, there were so many promotions that were taken off. So my thing was, all right, well, Strikeforce is not going to work, so I'll sign with somewhere else. And then at that point, I just got into pro wrestling, so I was like, I made the decision of I'm just going to walk away and see where this pro wrestling takes me. And I've just been doing pro wrestling ever since. So it's a bittersweet story. One hand, you're like, sick, I signed. Second hand, you're like, fuck, they got bought out. And They didn't take my contract. So it is what it is. Again, I have a poster. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, and it's like, I live by the philosophy. It's like whenever a door closes at one place, another door is gonna open up. As long as you stay persistent and like trying to find out what's happening. And it's like what you've been doing in the wrestling world is clearly fucking, clearly going somewhere, man. You're fucking shocking people, man. We need to get this. I'm waiting for your match with Big Ugly to go on IWTV because I'm gonna fucking stream that one, man. That one was off the hook, dude. Thumbtacks, what the fuck? When was it? Do you remember the first time you got tossed on some thumbtacks or tossed somebody on some thumbtacks?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
When was that?
And well, the funny part is I was wrestling a couple of these guys. It's a 3-way match, and a couple of these guys, they were like, wrestling marks, if you would. So they seen, I forgot who did it, but they seen a show, I think it was WWF at the time. They seen somebody and they're like, oh yeah, they went to thumbtacks, so we should do that in our match.
Oh, shit.
I was like, all right. I was like, okay, let's do it. So then when it came down to it, they got scared. And I was like, fuck it, throw me through it. Like, I ain't tripping.
No way.
So I went through them, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if I got thick skin or what, but
yeah,
a lot of the guys can vouch for this. I have done so many like crazy matches with barbed wire and glass and thumbtacks, and literally walked out with maybe a scratch.
Yeah.
I did this mountain match. It was called the Cage of Chaos, and it was a steel cage with the opposite turnbuckles were wrapped in barbed wire, and then we had like weapons on the ring or on the cage, and fuck, man, I got suplex off the top through barbed wire and thumbtacks and glass, and I had one thumbtack in my forehead, and everyone else is like cut up, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I was legit pissed off. But yeah, so the first time I went to thumbtacks, yeah, like it was supposed to be this one guy. He fucking got super scared, and he's like, what if it hurts? And I was just like, well, then why bring it up? So I was like, fucking, people wanted to see it, and I went through it. And yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're like fucking Wolverine, man. It's funny. I'll see you like 2 days after like that, the last one where all the pictures you're leaking all over, and then I see like 2 days later and you don't even have a fucking scratch. I'm like, what the fuck? You got some fucking healing factor, man.
Well, like this, the last one, part of my shoulder, there's a nice chunk of meat that came out.
Woo!
And it was like healed in like 2 days. It's crazy. Like the first day was like all open, and then the second day had the scab, and then like the third day was like smooth.
That's fucking nuts, dude. I get a
like,
scratch.
Oh, okay.
I get a fucking scratch off a scab for like fucking 2 weeks. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like I don't know. I mean, it's not that I'm not trying.
Yeah, it's all that Mountain Dew. I don't know. I don't even know you drink
crazy.
Mountain Dew. I'm just.
I don't really. I mean, I'll have one here and there, but
yeah.
I'm not a soda person.
Yeah.
Never have been.
What's your go-to beer?
Any. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, I don't know. When it comes to beer, it doesn't matter, because for me personally, like, it's always the first beer that's gross, no matter what it is. It can be a cheap ass beer or top quality beer. Yeah. It's always gross to me, the first one. So I'll chug the first one. And then after that, for some reason, it like kicks the taste buds, and the rest is just like water.
Yeah, I feel that. I know I was getting down with the peppermint schnapps last night with Bradford Tatum, man. Oh God. I never had peppermint schnapps before. I've heard nothing but horror stories. So I got lucky.
Yeah. I got a funny peppermint schnapps story for you. So I was still 20 at the time, and one of my good friends just turned 21. And so I bought a big bottle of Cazadores tequila and some peppermint schnapps. So for his birthday, it was just me and him because he was house sitting for his grandfather. And so we weren't gonna like have a party until like the following week because a lot of our friends were just got in the military and they were coming back and shit like that. So it was just me and him, and he was house sitting. So I was like, "Fuck it, let's just take a couple shots and we'll go from there." We took a couple shots, and then we had some. I think Mike's Hard Lemonade just came out, so we bought that. Thinking, so we drank that, and then it's like fucking 10 o'clock, and one of our friends came over with her boyfriend, and we're like, well, we're just drinking, just sipping, whatever. And then, fuck, just out of nowhere, I was like, all right, you drink half the bottle, I'll drink half, and then we'll drink half of the tequila, and I'll drink half.
Oh man,
that was like the worst fucking thing we've ever did. And the point of the story is I was like, fuck, I don't feel right. So I walked to his grandfather's backyard patio and just threw up everywhere. So he's like, oh shit. He throws up everywhere. And so he's going out there, he's all drunk, and he's thinking he's spraying it with the hose and cleaning it, but he's not. So the next morning, his grandfather comes, and you just hear him, what the fuck happened to my patio? There's fucking throw up everywhere. And he wakes up and goes, I think the cat did it. So me and him are thinking like, good one, bro. Fuck yeah. So we're kind of collecting our thoughts, and we finally go in the backyard. It's like, all right, we're gonna clean it now. So we go in that whole fucking patio. There's no way the cat did that. So that is my peppermint snot story. And to this day, man, we still talk about that. That shit was hella funny. Blamed it on the cat.
Yeah, that fucking cat's dead, man. Throwing up that much.
It was crazy. Fucking gold pieces in the throw up. It was fucking gross.
Oh fuck. That's
good
crazy.
Times.
Yeah, I had one time I was at this fucking bar. I was like 21 years old. No, I wasn't even 21. I was like 20, and my friend met this chick who like said, "Oh yeah, I know this little spot." So we pull up to this bar, and she's like, "They'll serve you." So I sit down, and the bartender comes up, didn't ID me. So I'm like, "Oh hell yeah," you know. And I had like $100 in my pocket. He's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, give me a double of bourbon. You know, it's just fucking bourbon. I don't know what the fuck I was ordering. He came back with like, it was like Maker's Mark, double of it. So I slam it, no chaser. He walks around, comes right back like a minute later. Oh, you already done with that? What do you want now? And I was like, a double bourbon. So fucking he pours me another one, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know, I down it. And then fucking he goes around again, and he brings me a shot of Patron, and he said, oh yeah, this dude over at the bar, it was like some older cat, bought shots for everybody in the whole bar, Patron, because he was drinking that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I fucking, like an idiot, I down the Patron. So I'm 5 shots in, I'm less than 30 minutes into this fucking, the first bar that's ever served me. And the guy comes back, and he goes, what do you want? And, you know, I'm like, I'm already mixing in my head, so I got to get a mixed drink now. I'll take an AMF. So the guy comes back, brings me the AMF. I drink it, and I'm like, I feel it. I'm like, oh, I'm fucked up. I finished the whole AMF. I'm like, I go into the back of the bar, and I'm just kind of like wandering around. I don't remember a lot for a second, but then I remember I'm standing in the back bar, and they're smoking weed in the back, and a like cloud of it just hits me, and it instantly makes me sick. And I run up to the trash can, and I'm like, blah, just like projectile vomiting blue and fucking brown and all these colors and shit. It was disgusting. And the bartender, and I'm thinking in my head as this is happening, the bartender's going to kick me out right now. He knows I'm not old enough to be in here. He knows. And he said, this dude came prepared. And I was like, what? And he said, his back pocket. And I look at my back pocket, and I had a toothbrush sticking out of my back pocket because I was staying the night at my boy's house. So I was like,
nice.
You know, and then I, you know, black out at that point. I don't remember. Come to, and I'm sitting in front of the bar, big puddle of puke in front of me. And that old cat that bought the shot is rubbing my back. He's sitting next to me, you know, and I'm like $125. I'm hella skinny. I'm just like this little, you know, hella wasted kid, you know, sitting there. And he's like, that's why they call it tequila, mijo. It's tequila. And I'm like, oh, no. It was bad. My boy came out though and like started chopping it up with this guy. Like, what the hell are you doing, rubbing my boy's back, man? He's fine. Leave him alone. But yeah,
Oh, it's good shit. It's like, jokes on you. You got roofied.
I know, bro. I was like, oh god.
Uh,
Yeah, it was wild, man. Passed out and woke up in a room with a stripper pole. I was surrounded in chicken sandwich wrappers, McChicken wrappers and shit.
nice.
Crazy. 20s are wild time in my life.
Oh yeah. I think it's for anybody. You know, like I said, I just turned 38, and it's weird. Like I turned 38, but I still feel like I'm like 19.
Yeah. That's a good way to feel, man. I'm 29 and I feel like I'm fucking 50.
I mean, like I look back, I'm like, damn, I've been out of high school 20 years, but it literally feels like I graduated maybe a year or two ago. I don't know. It's just how it feels.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be all that workout, constantly getting it in, man. You got that cardio going for you. That shit's crazy. Have you ever been gassed in a match where you're like laying there? Like, because I see wrestlers sometimes where they like, they're selling and it's like, then sometimes I'm like, this guy's probably gassed the fuck out from doing all this shit.
Um, no, never been gassed. So
Damn.
I got a funny story about that. So QT Marshall, who's everyone knows him as, AEW. So he's seen one of my matches and against me versus Eli Drake. And he was kind of critiquing it, which was just awesome, And he was like, "Oh, my biggest takeaway is you seem winded." I started laughing. I was like, "Shit." So growing up, my favorite wrestler is Bret Hart. I don't know if you guys ever watch Bret Hart's matches and really watch him. He like when he's starting to get beat up a little bit, he opens his mouth and kind of has that look, right? So when I became a pro wrestler, I was like, "Oh, well, fuck, I see Bret do that." And Bret's obviously Hall of Famer and this and that. So I started doing that in my matches.
Yeah.
And so when I was talking to him, I was like, "Hey, man, thank you." I was like, "But I promise you, I'm not winded." And he goes, "Yeah, it looks like you're winded and this and that. And, it's not a good look." And it never dawned on me, right? Because, again, Bret Hart done. So I was like, well, fuck, if it's good enough for Bret, it
Yeah.
should be good for me, right? Because we're on the same fucking level. And so I was telling him, I was like, look, the one thing I know for a fact I got better at is cardio. Like, my cardio is fucking crazy. And so I told him, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why they kind of looked the other way. It was like, it doesn't seem like you're in shape and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck. So that was like my first experience with like AEW. And then so I got rid of that. So when I'm in my wrestling matches, I don't emulate that move no more. Because when QT told me that it looks like I'm winded, I was like, fuck. That's, again, I could see where it's not a good look. If it's, 3 minutes into a match and I'm looking like I'm tired, then there's a problem. Who's gonna fucking want to sign somebody who looks tired in 3 minutes of the match? So I definitely switched that up super quick. And I don't do that no more.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't seen you do it, man. When you're in there, you're like bam, bam, bam. This shit's happening. This is going just like that last match. It was a short match, but it was fucking so much happened in that short period of time. That shit was fucking.
And that was the thing was, I got rid of it as soon as QT Marshall told me that. I fucking right then and there didn't even have a match. Like I'm reading his message and I'm like, nope, gone. Immediately deleted from my brain.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bret, no more.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like that's one thing I've always really, really had was cardio. That's kind of like one of the reasons why I earned the nickname The Machine.
Yeah.
Because MMA, like I train 12 rounds nonstop, and then do jiu-jitsu nonstop, and then MMA fighting. I had one speed. I didn't slow down. So my instructor was like, "Dude, you're like a fucking machine," and that's where I got it. And the reason why I kind of stayed away from it from pro wrestling, because everyone, you may hear the name Machine, first person you think of is Brian Cage, and as you should. But I don't know, man. Like that's one thing I always took pride in because my MMA coach always told me, he was like, look, I don't care if you're going to lose a match. If you get knocked out, you get submitted, it is what it is. You lose by decision, split decision, it happens. He goes, but the one thing I won't fucking tolerate, you lose a match because you're tired. And I took that shit serious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, lucky enough, I haven't lost a match, but I'm never, ever going to, that's one thing that will stick for me forever is just don't lose a match because you're tired. Don't make your wrestling match look like shit because you're tired. I just took that with me the whole time. You know, there was one year where I played semi-pro football. I was the starting quarterback, the starting middle linebacker. I was on kickoff. I was the long snapper. I didn't leave the field. And then I didn't take a sip of water or nothing until after the game. So that's just one thing I took pride in was the cardio.
That's wild. You ever do any like triathlons or anything, or would you ever do one?
I mean, I would never say never. I mean, I've done the Spartan races, and it's funny. So the Spartan race, the very first one I did was with my brother. He hit me up on a Monday and was like, hey, do you want to do a Spartan race? So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm down. He calls me Friday and goes, hey, I'm going to pick you up. We got the Spartan race tomorrow. And I was like, oh, what? So my very first Spartan race was the championship, Spartan Championship in Tahoe.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 18 miles or some shit at Sierra Ski Resort. So it's hills and shit. And again, I haven't trained for this or nothing. I don't know what to expect. So I ended up finishing the course in like little under 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there waiting for my brother and his 3 friends for 3.5 hours. And mind you, I'm 10 years older than these guys.
Yeah.
They trained, I didn't. And I finished I think it was like 3 hours and 20 minutes faster than them. And one of them didn't even finish. He quit.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's the one thing that I take pride in is my cardio. So.
That's fucking crazy. Isn't the Spartan race the one where they do all that crazy shit? They put like fucking tasers in there or whatever the fuck, and you got to crawl under them or something. Or there's like mud.
Tasers.
I don't know what.
You got to crawl like mud. There's barbed wire over you. You got to crawl through the mud and all that. Jump through. There's tons of obstacles.
Yeah. Oh, so knowing you, like you just ran through the barbed wire then.
I just cut me, brother.
So fuck it.
I need to bleed.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. Like I said, that's the one thing. And like I said, when he told me that, I was like, oh shit, never again.
Yeah, that cardio, that's crazy, man. That's got to be like a California thing, dude. Like fucking, you see the Diaz brothers cardio. They changed the game with their cardio too. You know, like when I was just mentioning it to you the other day about fucking Frank Shamrock when he fought Nick Diaz. He just going, you know, on him. He had no chance to fucking breathe. Like, you ever you watch any like anime or any of that shit?
Not really. I don't really watch TV too much. I mean, I've seen like One Punch Man and Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Or is that what it's called? But that's really as far as I got. Afro Samurai. I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
There's one you gotta check out called Baki the Grappler, and it's a fucking show about these buff ass dudes that they're all just trying to fight. They do this tournament every year where it's like the baddest motherfuckers and they all fight each other, and they all have like different shit they do. And there's one guy that has like the craziest cardio, like he doesn't have to breathe when he throws like combos. So he's like, every other fighter has to inhale and they'll stop for a second. But it's like this dude does this shit where he punches nonstop for like 30 seconds. And fucking, yeah, it's a badass show, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, you know, like, so going back to like the MMA shit and all that, and it just triggered something when you said punching for like 30 seconds. So my mentality was, so we had this piece of metal. It was like 3 inches thick by like, I don't know, 2 feet by like a foot. And the gym I was at, they had it hanging on the wall. And my thing was, if I can punch that, a face, a body, It's not going to be that bad.
Yeah.
So while most people were warming up like on a speed bag or a heavy bag, I was punching that bare knuckle, by the way. And so so one day someone asked me like, why do you punch that? And I said, well, again, if my hands can handle this, punching someone in the jaw or the eye socket, it's not going to be so bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just one of those mentalities. Like I said, when I was a fighter, the mentality I had, I think kind of comes off a little bit as an egotistical psychopath. Because when I used to fight, my goal was if I punched you and I didn't feel nothing crack, I didn't hit you hard enough.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why the nickname The Machine came, because my goal was to make you regret signing that contract to fight me, because I wanted you to second guess if this is something you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Whether you had 10 fights or one fight, like you fought me, you knew like, fuck, do I really want to keep doing this? And I don't know, it's one of those things too, like kind of smirk about, because I'm like, fuckers.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, is like, nothing was going to break. Like, you can punch me all you want. I'm like, cool, whatever, it happens. But I'm going to make you break. And like training, jiu-jitsu tournaments, a lot of people thought I was an asshole because I would hum. And I had asthma, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird because my cardio is great. But you can't stop a fight or you stop a jiu-jitsu match because I needed to take my inhaler. So I started learning how to control it. So I'd hum music and hum songs. And there was this one tournament I did, bigger guy, buff, super strong. And you could tell he just got promoted to, I think it was a blue belt tournament at the time. And he tried to muscle me. So he took me down and he's struggling. And all of a sudden I was like, let me know when you're ready. And he looked at me and goes, what? I go, let me know when you're ready. He goes, we've been ready. They blew the whistle. And I was like, oh, well, let me know when you're ready. And he was like, so he kind of looked at me. So he's on top the first period and he's trying to muscle me and boom, boom, boom. So first period, I lost on purpose. I was like, all right, this guy's just going to muscle me. So round two, I'm going to let him take me down. Round two comes, sure shit, shot a double leg on me. Saw him. He's in my guard. And I asked him one more time, let me know when you're ready. And he's just like, So we're going. The moment I felt him go, I had him.
Yeah.
I fucking kicked it on, reverse him, boom, 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 end up submitting him. And the funny part is, to this day, we still talk. He's from SoCal, but we still talk here and there. And he always brings that up because remember when you asked me if I was ready? And then I took that deep breath and he just fucking turned on the burners and submitted me. And I was like, yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
So, but what brought me back to that is we grappled again one time. There was no gi and I couldn't breathe. So I started humming a song and he's talking shit to me. He goes, fuck you, bro. You think I'm easy because you beat me the last time? But little did he know I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So I was humming a song and I was just zoning him out and submitted him again. But that was just funny to me because he was literally getting mad. He thought I was being a dick because I was humming a song.
Yeah, being hella cocky and shit. You're like,
I was just like, nah, bro, I can't breathe right now. Sorry.
Fucking A, man. That's fucking wild, dude. Shit. So you've done it fucking all, and it's still just like right now. It's like popping too. So it's like, what's ideally. So we've talked about you know when to hang up the gloves, when you're like, when you're ready to tap out or whatever. But what's your vision for yourself? Ideally, if everything comes into fruition perfectly, what do you see yourself doing? If you could do exactly what you wanted to do, like now, from here.
To be honest with you, when COVID happened, not wrestling for that, was it a year and a half almost or whatnot, I was okay with not doing anything. So then when I got the first show back, obviously the itch, the bug, it kicked in. But I told myself, 2021, I'm done. Hanging it up. That was the goal. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to take off the way it did.
Yeah.
you know, that was the goal. That was 100%. January 1st, 2022, I'm officially retired from everything. But I can't say that now. The goal was this year was my last year being a pro wrestler. But opportunities have presented themselves. Titles need to be won. Titles need to be defended. And physically and mentally, I'm not ready to hang them up yet. But the end is near. And I'm okay with it. So I've accomplished everything I needed to in football. I've had multiple championships, multiple MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year awards. Been there, done that. I've had multiple championships in MMA. I was lucky enough to finish my career at 9-0 and my kickboxing career at 27-1. Championships again. Been there, done that. Pro wrestling. I was lucky enough to wrestle for Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, stuff like that. Won championships. Got to travel. The career is winding down. Yes. The near is, it's probably sooner rather than later. And I don't want to overdo my welcome, if that makes sense. I don't want to be the guy who's 60 still trying to relive the glory days. Like I said, I can walk away today and be happy. So, but right now I'm going week by week, and where it takes me, it takes me. You know, if it's all the way into the end of 2020, so be it. If it's the middle of 2022, so be it. If it's January 1st, 2022, so be it. But right now, with my calendar set up, I'm just going to live this. I'm going to ride this ride for as long as I can. But again, for me, I know when to walk away. So that's always the plus. I want to be able to walk away and still, you know, get up in the morning and walk. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good place to be. You know, you're blessed with a good head on your shoulders as well, you know, to understand that and have realistic expectations for yourself and to find satisfaction and to not be constantly aspiring for, you know, unnecessary shit. Like a lot of people just want to keep going. Like you said earlier, it's like people just, oh, they need the crowd, they need this. And it's like, you do what you do for you and fucking you have your satisfaction of your goals you've accomplished, you know? That's a fucking
exactly.
resume, man.
Yeah, and like I said, for me, for the ones who need it, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fucking, if that's what keeps you motivated, I'm all about it. I support it 100%. And like I said, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else or anyone listening to this or whatnot. I'm only speaking for myself. Every comment I'm making, I can only speak for myself. You know, if you want to be that guy who's 60 and still doing it, fucking power to you. You know, I don't wish ill will on anybody. I don't wish anyone fails. I wish everyone can do really well. And that, again, that's the image I got for some reason. But again, it's like when you actually sit down and talk to me, it's like, you'll know me. But for me, again, I can't stress enough. Everything I say, everything I do, it's for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ain't for anybody else. I'm not critiquing anybody else. I'm not talking shit on anyone else and what they do. This is what I do. This is how I get going. This is my start, my middle, my end, my way. That's it. You know, and that's, again, my ending ended 2.5 years ago when I had to retire from my broken neck, but it wasn't my way. My MMA career ended my way.
Yeah.
My football career ended my way. My pro wrestling career didn't end my way. I can't end it like that.
Yeah.
You know, but if I never got cleared to come back, then it is what it is. Can't cry over that because I can look at what I've accomplished. And again, I've been lucky. You know, I was able to travel the world. I was able to play pro football. I was able to do the MMA, pro wrestling. You know, I got to live my dream in 3 different sports. You know, so how fucking cool is that? So anyone tell me otherwise, you got an attitude or you're a dick or you're this or that. Okay, cool. But I fucking grind for everything I got.
Yeah. And you got to look out. You got to look out for yourself, man. Like you said about, you know, fuck the boys, like that, the motto you have. It's like, you know, you look at MMA fighters that have tried to appease their trainers all the time. Like look at Jackson Wink. Like, you know, they turned what's it called? I think Diego Sanchez said it, or no, I think it was Cowboy. When Cowboy left, he said they're like a puppy mill. They just keep, you know, churning out these younger fighters and then stop expending their resources with the older guys that have established careers and shit. And that's why, you know, you see a lot of those fighters that, you know, that are getting older declining, you know, in their fights. So it's like, you know, you gotta look out for yourself, and you can't be trying to appease fucking everyone else except for the people that you need to.
And that's the thing too, is I'm a firm believer of friendship ain't gonna pay my bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I stick to that. And it's true. Friendship ain't gonna pay my bills. Like, I can be best friends with CM Punk. He's not gonna pay my bills. I'm not. So I don't want people to go, oh, Vargas said he's best friends with CM.
I'm gonna cut that clip and fucking post it on Twitter.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, people gotta understand, if you're gonna do something, because nowadays, like you just said with Cowboy, they're producing these young guys. It's a young man's world.
Yeah.
As much as us old dogs hate to admit it, but my thing is this: is yes, I'm 38, and there might be an 18-year-old up and coming who's fucking tearing it up. But guess what? You're gonna have to earn my roster spot. I'm not giving it to nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how I always felt, and that's why I tell the students too. Like, I'll train you, I'll get you to where you need to go. I'm not giving you my spot. You're gonna have to earn it.
Yeah.
You know, and that just goes back to just anything. Like with the title. The title is not. You're not guaranteed a fucking title.
You have to.
You're
do
not
something.
obligated.
You're
not obligated, man. Yeah, you're not obligated to get a fucking title. You know, I've been with Big Time Wrestling for 11 years. I've never been the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
But I don't feel I deserve that belt because I've been there that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel entitled that I should be the next man up because I've been there 11. No, that belt is not guaranteed or handed to nobody. I'm okay with that. You know, and that's why it cracks me up when you hear people, oh, you got my property. No, I don't. You're not obligated or entitled to getting this belt. And that's the thing with these young guys. They feel because I do this, I should be handed shit. You ain't handed nothing. You got to fucking earn it just like the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming back to my UGWA title. You want it, earn it. Come get it. Who have you beat? That's how I look at it. If you want to get technical, the number one contender for my title should be Guido. Because he was the last one, then he moved to Australia, and it is what it is. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm a firm believer of that shit. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's supposed to be handed to you. If you don't fucking earn it, you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know? Like my roster spot. I earned my roster spot. I wasn't handed to me. Again, I can bring it back to Big Time Wrestling. I'm not guaranteed a roster spot on that card because I've been there 11 years.
Yeah.
They can easily be like, nope, we're going with this guy. Because there's a lot of nice up-and-coming young talent out there. And I name dropped some earlier. They can easily be like, oh, we're going to give it to him. No. The reason why I'm on that card is because I earned that spot. The reason why I'm on TWF's card tonight because I earned that spot. The reason why I'm the champ and I'm at UGWA, I earned that spot. It wasn't handed to me. It wasn't like, hey, man. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just how I think about shit. You gotta earn it, man. No one wants to earn shit no more. Everyone wants to cry about it and fucking have shit handed to them. Just like the work world. They just want to do a little bit of shit and want the top-notch dollar and get paid. And if not, it's like, oh, well, then I'll go somewhere else. I'm a firm believer. Bye. Go somewhere else then. Earn your shit.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever handed to me. Ever. Ever. Earned it all. Pro career. Again, had to earn that shit. I had to make the team. Made it. Beat out some stars. MMA, same concept. I had to earn that contract to whatever promotion I was fighting for. It wasn't handed to me. Because my gym that I fought out of, you ain't never heard of it. Shout out Miguel. It was just me and 3 guys in that gym.
Damn.
And never heard of our gym.
Yeah.
Ever. Earned a contract out of that gym.
That's sick.
And they were like, why don't you go to a big gym? I said, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I'm undefeated with this guy and my 2 training partners.
That's crazy, man.
So I don't know. I know I got a little heart to heart on that one, but that's like one of my bugaboos. Motherfuckers just think shit should be handed to them. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Is there anybody out there in particular that you think shit should be handed to him right now?
Nope.
No. I know. I'm trying.
Ain't nobody. Everyone's got to earn their shit. I don't care if you're wrestling for WWE, NFL, MLB, MLS. You got to earn your spot, man. Look at Messi.
Yeah.
He just signed that contract with what's that? French? I forgot the name of him. Motherfucker got benched.
Yeah.
Think about that. Messi got benched.
Damn.
So if Messi got benched, that means all of us are in trouble.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Fucking A. 49ers traded Joe Montana. Think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, I don't know. Nothing's supposed to be handed to you. If you get shit handed to you, I think it cripples you. Because then you're gonna feel entitled. And then you're just gonna be shitty.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Well, fuck, man. That's some insightful shit. You heard it here first, everybody. Tony motherfucking Vargas, the egotistical psychopath. He's got bookings going through the motherfucking end of the year. He's going to be fucking some shit up. We're probably going to have some killer announcements coming soon as well. As always, you heard about the merch. 60 shirts. You better get them. They're going to be at UGWA in November, you said?
November. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody come to UGWA. We're going to have Guido on the show at the end of this month, so I'm going to see what's up with Guido. Is he coming back? I know I've been seeing him saying a lot on Twitter back and forth with, a couple of the guys, so,
Yeah, my thing's this, though. Me and Guido are in AYA together.
Yeah.
He knows who the fucking alpha was of that group. He knows who the alpha was.
Oh, shit. Man, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of contention for the Beast in the East. I'm very excited. Can't wait to see what you do next. I can't wait to see what UGWA has in store for us. Boss Man Slash, that man's off the hook. Fucking, piecing everything together and, getting you guys together for the show. And, absolute pleasure having you on the show. Fucking, man, thank you so much for coming here. Is there any last words you want to let our audience know?
Nah, like I said, you can love me or hate me, but you'll be entertained by me. Straight up. I'm a fucking, like I say, I don't pretend to be tough. It's not a gimmick. It is what it is. What you see is what you get. Woo!
Straight out of Hayward, the egotistical psychopath, Tony Vargas.